that, you know, I had no equity in my life. I had nothing. I had nothing to fall behind on. If I got hurt and could never work again, I wouldn't get nothing. I would be done. And for the first time in my life, I decided, well, you know what? If I go to work, he's telling me I can get benefits, I get paid vacation, which I never had a paid vacation in my entire life, other than unless I went to Cranston in the big house, and then I got 3 hots in the cot, I like to say, right? And so I ended up taking a job. I came to work part-time. Within 3 months, they offered me a full-time job, and now I really had to think, right? And I'm like, can I really afford it? And you know, I talked to my significant other at the time. We weren't married, and you know, she was like, yeah, go for it. And so I quit my job in a restaurant, and I went to work full-time at Anchor Recovery Community Center as a recovery coach. And I absolutely loved it. The next step was where, you know, I was asked around 2014, do you want to advance? You have leadership skills. You know, you can direct people. You're there. You know, you take charge of things, and you know, do you want to advance in your life? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I could, right? I've always been a leader. I've always ran restaurants and things like that. And my friend, somebody I've known a long time, was involved with College Unbound at the time, James Montero, and he's like, dude, I got this college, you know, they're great, and you know, come check it out. And I came to an open house, and I had traditionally went to Rhode Island College to look at because they have the substance use disorder program. But I could never fit that anywhere into my schedule because they only had daytime classes, and I wouldn't be able to work or do anything at the same time. So I came here one night, and I tried it. You know, I sat and I liked it, and then I was like, well, I'm never going to get loans for this or anything like this. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. But they helped me because I had been defaulted on a loan previously. And you know, next thing I know is I was accepted, and here I was. I came in and started my education process. So, I had to put you in there, Deb. You know, these are a couple of the things I have done in here. And what do we call them?
Vision boards.
Vision boards, right. And you know, the Big Tens, and it was funny because I did one early in my career here, and then we just did one like last week, and I was looking over both of them, and they're both pretty much the same. Different pitches, but pretty much each picture had the same kind of result as far as where I was in my life, which was pretty amazing. Got to bear with me a minute because I'm kind of new at this Prezi thing. So my first year, when I entered College Unbound, I entered with 39 transferable credits. And when I say that, is because when I was in prison, I took several courses from CCRI that were offered in the prison. Not because I wanted to be educated, because I didn't care less about the education at the time, right? I had quit school in the 8th grade, and I never really thought about it. But then when I was in prison, they told me that I could get, you know, 30 days or 45 days good time off my sentence if I took a college course. Why wouldn't I, right? So that's what I did. Each one of these 39 credits was, you know, 30 days off of my sentence. So I was, you know, up for that. So my first year here was fall 2014 to 15. My first classes was English Composition 1, Public Speaking and Debates. Public Speaking and Debates I absolutely loved. Becoming in this field, before I came into this field, I really couldn't talk in front of anybody. When I came into this field, and my mentor Jim and all that, it was always out in front. He had his picture out on the newspapers, always in front of the lights and everything. And I became part of that, and I liked it. I kind of liked it. And I didn't understand why, but then as I was doing it, I realized that I could do it because I don't have to lie. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling everybody exactly what I want them to believe, right? What I want them, what's the truth. Where in the past, I would tell you something, I would tell you something, and I would tell you something, and they were all, you know, different lies, or they were different what I wanted people to believe. So then I didn't have to worry about that no longer, what I told you, or getting around and work. I told everybody the same thing. So that was good. English composition, I could tell you, absolutely, there's kids in here, so I won't swear, stunk. Okay? They stunk. I wasn't really good at education. I failed, and we talked. And I want you to watch this pattern, because I have a good pattern about this, right? For failure. But I failed at with an F. A lot of it had to do not only because of the class, but it had to do with me and my commitment to the class. I didn't sit down, and I really didn't give it the time necessary or the attention necessary that was needed. So the next term I had to retake that class, because that was the class I had to take in order to keep my college career going, right? So needless to say, through the help of Charter Oak, College Unbound, providing tutors and everything else, I ended up getting an A. Okay? And at the same time, I took environmental science with a lab, which I got an A and an A minus on that. Pretty cool. That was my first A. Okay. During the same year I was thinking about a project to do. And part of my project, when I came up with a project name, was Vigilant Recovery. Now again, because of time and everything, I'm gonna go, and if somebody wants to keep time and how much time I do, I don't want to take up all this time. But this is probably just a little outline of what Vigilant Recovery was. It was important to me, and what it was basically was help men and women who come out of prison to reintegrate into society, to regain their families, whether they had kids or anything like that. Okay? Very important to me. It's still important to me. What Vigilant Recovery is trying to create and accomplish, inspire, creates passion that converts negative poison into positive power. And that's truly what I believe. I believe that today. Okay? You know, there'll be times afterwards you can ask questions, so please keep them up. All right. So then we come into my second year. My second year, 2015, 2016 fall, term 1, I took English Composition 2. I got a B minus. Wow, cool, right? American government, kids about American government, but you know, I took it because I got a C minus, I passed. That was okay. My next term, this was a good year for me, right? Reframing a Failure, which I got an A, and Intro to Organizational Community Studies. These are both College Unbound classes. A lot of help, a lot of support, a lot of guidance. I didn't really have any trouble, and as you can see, I got A's in both of them, and I was happy. I could take the rest of the term off and relax. Come back to spring, right after the break, I was jumping right into it, and I was scared to death because they said statistics. Okay? I only know how to count money on the streets, right? That's all I ever knew how to count money was on the streets. You know, we could talk about different things and how to count, and I had no problem that way. But doing statistics, that wasn't really my bag. But they said, don't worry about it. They got us a tutor. They got us 2 tutors, Matt and Kerry. And they were absolutely amazing. I would have never gotten through this class without them. And as you can see, it resulted in what I got was a A. And at the same time, it took Sustainable Impact, which I got a B. Second term, research methods of behavioral science.